Welcome! Welcome to Hug Nation. I had a really wonderful experience at the end of last year. There was all sorts of horrible things happening in the news. One of the less publicized shootings was there was a shooting at an Oregon mall. And the week after that, when we were broadcasting about the other shootings, a woman came in the chat room that was in the mall in Oregon, and she said that she worked there, and on a normal day she could have been right in the line of fire, and the experience really shook her up. She was struggling because why was she spared? She witnessed this horrible violence. Circumstances led to that she was actually on the other side of the mall instead of where she would normally be working and being. Why? Why was she? And it filled with a sense of, I need to do something special. I'm alive. I need to do something with my life. And that can be a beautiful feeling, and it can be a prison. That feeling of like, oh my gosh, now I have to do something amazing. Now I need to cure cancer. Now I need to... And I've actually known a number of people through the years that have had the experience of surviving a tragedy or having a close loved one have a terrible thing happen, and that the way their self-defense mechanism kicked in and made sense of this thing that there is no reason to it, but the way that they made sense of it was saying, I am here, I'm alive to do great things and to be great. And while I think the desire to do great things and be great is a good one, this can be a dangerous place, as this woman was experiencing, because now she's feeling like she's failing. She doesn't know what she's supposed to be doing. She's 21 years old. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? I've got all this trauma behind me, not including, this more recent trauma. Is this all been training for what? For what? For what? And I think all of us, to some degree, feel that sometime in our lives. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? I think we need to re-look at the question. That's what we talked about. It's like, look, it's very tempting to feel like your purpose is this thing out there that you need to go and make happen. I need to go to medical school to cure cancer. And you might feel that. But I would argue that your purpose is not a landmark that's way out there. You can use a map and make a mark out there and go towards it as long as it feels right. But the way we find our purpose is in tuning in, going inward, listening to our heart, getting present, and figuring out what feels like being in integrity, and then making individual choices from that place of love, integrity, and presence. Be present, have integrity, align with love. I probably should tattoo that on myself since I say it so often, and it helps me and it saves me so often. And that is also the recipe for purpose. Because your purpose, if it is something that you're making happen, then it is too tied in with your ego mind and your thoughts and your fears and your desires that have been socialized into, weaved into the personality that makes life fun, but is not who you really are. Your real purpose is something that is deep. And it is not probably curing cancer or saving the rainforest. It could be saving a tree. It could be saving someone. Most definitely, it's saving yourself. A broken, wounded person might have the desire to go heal the world. But if your instrument is dirty, you should not be performing surgery. Getting clear, finding out what your triggers are and working on those, softening your heart edges, figuring out what is making you upset and angry and irritated, working on that stuff is the path to your purpose. It is inward, so that the clarity of what turns you on, what gets you excited, starts to come out. And then when you're in that decision of making a choice, your purpose is the one that is the love path. At every fork, if you sit with it, I think you'll find that there is often a love path and a fear path. I'm worried that I'm not going to make enough money if I do that. That's fear. I've always wanted to do that. That's love. And so this courageous woman, struggling with the fact that she had no purpose, took her several days and finally just called. And she said that, it was very hard to decide to contact me. And I was like, in that moment that you decided to contact me, and you went away from the fear part of you, who you are, and towards loving yourself and seeking truth of who you are, that was your purpose. That was your hero's journey in that moment. And it led to connecting with me, going deeper, learning more. And every time we make that choice in the now, it allows us to be in purpose. To me, that's revolutionary, because so much of life in our culture is manifest destiny, be your best, seize the day, build a big building and put your name on it. And when you think that purpose is these grand things, we might not even be aware of the magical tiny things that we're supposed to be doing just by being still and being kind to ourselves. And really, I think that when you do that practice of going and quieting, going to integrity, there's some very simple things. Being forgiving and being kind to yourself, forgiving and being kind to others, and then finding subtle, tiny ways that you can be of help. Teeny tiny things. Over the last 3 years, I've been working with First Saturdays, our homeless outreach. This last weekend we had like 60-something volunteers. One of them was a 4-year-old boy named Jacob, who brought 2 sandwiches that he had made to give away because this was not his first time. And he could barely see over the table as he was handing out these sandwiches. And at the end, when we were like kind of giving away so much stuff, and we're just kind of packing up, he's like, "What can I do else? You've been helping so much. You want to help more?" And it was so powerful to me, because this whole 3-year journey has never been about trying to get as many volunteers as possible and trying to, feed as many people as possible and trying to get into as many cities as possible. It's been about trying to show small kindness in the moment and finding opportunities and then sharing opportunities to do small acts of kindness. And and as it resonated with people and people acted on it, then I see this beautiful little boy, and his purpose is just surging through him so powerfully that everyone around him is like, oh my gosh, like, here's the teacher. He doesn't have a thought about how he's going to, why this is good and why this makes him a good person. It's just like, woo, I want to help more people. And so I guess I want to just give permission for your purpose to be not an action, not a destination, but a mindset. A mindset that recognizes that becoming who you are, and by that I mean feeling things deeply, opening your heart, loving completely, practicing and doing exercises, working on yourself to a point where that you've become as transparent as possible with your heart, and expressing yourself with your feelings and your art and your work in a transparent way. That path is your purpose. And it's going to look a lot different than what you thought. And you'll be so stoked as long as you let go of what you think it's supposed to be. If you think that you're supposed to cure cancer, and so you deny your desire to be a body worker, your magic is just waiting. Or maybe your magic is in your parenting. I am so blessed that in my late 20s, I started to feel like I got in touch with a little bit of my purpose. And as I take every day, I feel like it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That's a lie. On the whole, it's getting stronger, but it's a fluctuation. And there are some days when I go, what the hell? But I'm so grateful that we have this time once a week here to remind one another that we're on the journey. And that is our purpose. And we can start more and more to start feeling like the directions, the map that we're following is not something that has been given to us by our news or our culture, our parents, but is something that is coming from the inside. Well, then we trust, then we have faith, and we walk the walk of our purpose. And I will promise you that you don't have to know where you're going. I got kind of nervous and tingly as I said that, because it's something that I work on too. My daily practice is about letting go of that feeling like, well, what if everything that I've learned, everything about my life that has worked out has been by having integrity in the moment and trusting that, being more loving, being of service, being forgiving, softening all the rough corners. That path will take me, will inspire me, will pull me in the direction that not only feels more exciting and satisfying and passionately for myself, but also is interpreted that way by others. So thank you for making the steps that you're making on your path. Thank you for becoming you. Thank you for allowing your purpose to come out and inspiring everyone you meet to listen to their hearts too. Ripple, 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 ripple. Let's have a hug. Grab your shoulders, feel this body that houses our consciousness, that allows us so many sensations, that gives us a front row seat to the unfolding of the universe. Thank you, body. And we're aware that this shell has another shell inside of it, which is that personality, which is a collection of all the experiences and the lessons. And a lot of those lessons and experiences are actually secondhand, third-hand, things we've been told. There's really two basic types of information that we have in our head. Things we've experienced and things we've been told. And the more we learn the difference, the more we can discern what is resonating from inside us and what is coming from outside us. That doesn't mean if it comes from outside it's wrong. It just means that we need to then run it through our internal judgment system, a guidance system, or approval system to see if it makes sense and it resonates. And as we practice that, we can play the game, we can have the personality, we can interact, we can make dreams come true from a place of integrity and purpose and love and presence. So let's take 3 breaths together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just be present and allow our hearts to radiate to one another and into the world. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the Love Warriors, Happy Hug Nation, thank you for being in this moment, whether it is live or archived, whether it is an intention, wherever you are, thank you for being you. Who you are is amazing. Who you're becoming is divine. Namaste.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.